What's your Tyler's Bad with the Retro Reviews here on Tyler's Retro Reviews with WWE Unforgiven 2002. Yeah, back to the Ruthless Aggression era with this one. This was the post SummerSlam event at that point. And, yeah. All in all, it was a good pay-per-view. Except for that last part of the main event. But there was a reason why that ended. Anyways, on September 22nd, it was a Raw and SmackDown event. This was years before, 1 year before the new brand exclusive pay-per-views. Started with Bad Blood for Raw and Vengeance for SmackDown. I did both of those, by the way. Yeah. But I'm going to talk about this right here. It was also, by the way, it was in the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California, so there's that. Before I get to the event itself, the set design is kind of weird. I thought it looked weird in Here Comes the Pain. I didn't know it was that weird in this, in real time. They used the red ropes for some reason at this event. Again, this was before Raw had its own pay-per-view and SmackDown had its own pay-per-view for the B pay-per-view periods. And again, I wish that we would go back to the brand exclusive pay-per-views again because there's that. Also, around this point, Brock Lesnar took the WWE Championship to SmackDown and became a SmackDown exclusive title. And that brought back the big gold belt as the World Heavyweight Championship. So, Triple H won a number one contenders match against The Undertaker. And that's, although it was not official, but on that same episode of Raw where Triple H won that number one contenders match, Brock Lesnar decided to go to SmackDown as the WWE Championship and exclusively defend it on SmackDown. In reality, WWE has to have two world titles because having one world title on both brands was not gonna work. I'm just being fair here. So the following week on Raw, Bischoff brought back the big gold belt as the World Heavyweight Championship, like I said. Although this was not the one that had the WWE logo on the belt. It was the WCW version of it. But that version would not last that long. I believe before WrestleMania 19, they put the WWE logo on it. And Triple H was awarded the belt also. And this is the whole, the beginning of the whole Reign of Terror thing. Blah, blah, blah. And his first world title program was against Rob Van Dam. Okay, that's fine. Brock Lesnar's first WWE Championship program after defeating The Rock was against The Undertaker, who was traded to SmackDown, after SummerSlam, which, I look at that again, they should have put Undertaker on SmackDown in the first place. I'm being honest with that, really. I mean, it was kind of lame that they didn't put Undertaker on SmackDown in the first place when the brand split happened. Anyways. I talked a little too much about it. Let's talk about this pay-per-view also. Yeah. With an 8-man tag team match, Kane, Goldust, and Book does. Kane and Bubba Ray Dudley defeat the Un-Americans of Lance Storm, Christian, William Regal, and Test. This group did not last long after this pay-per-view also, and I believe Lance Storm and Christian were the tag champs, and they dropped them to Kane and the Hurricane. Yeah. This was before the Kane, by the way, came back after SummerSlam, and this was way, way, way before that whole reign of that whole program with Triple H and the whole K-Fix shit. But yeah, solid 6-man or solid 8-man tag match. My bad. And yeah, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Solid match. Anyways, next up is for the Intercontinental Championship. Chris Jericho defeats Ric Flair by submission to retain the Intercontinental Championship. I believe this was before this pay-per-view. Jericho won the Intercontinental title from RVD, and then they did that weird transformation, that weird like match grab of Jericho with the Intercontinental title. Looks so weird, and yeah. Um, this was a short match, and this was not the last time we see Flair on this show, because later on he was confronted by Triple H, and then RVD stuck up to him, and yeah. Although Ric Flair will win an Intercontinental title at Unforgiven 3 years later. Still, a 5 out of 10 I'll give it. It was, yeah. Anyways, then we have Eddie Guerrero defeating Edge. This was a good match. Eddie lied to steal his way to the victory, and yeah, Eddie won this match. So Edge won at SummerSlam, and Eddie Guerrero won here, and then they had a no DQ match later on SmackDown where that happened. Yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. Not my best match on the show, but that's later on. Anyways, then we get a brand warfare match with stipulated matches, with stipulated stuff in this matchup. 3-man warring of Rosie and Jamal. Rosie is Roman Reigns' brother, which ain't that a weird coincidence behind me? And Jamal will become Umaga, Rikishi's brother. They were given this whole 3-man warring stuff. This was, I believe, an Eric Bischoff idea. When the 3 minutes are up, they were like Bischoff's henchmen. But then they got Rico as their manager, which, yeah, that was during the whole ceremony between Billy and Chuck. I'm not gonna say what it is because I don't want this video to get demonetized. And there's that, and then we get this tag team match. The one thing that's kind of weird about this, they have the SmackDown commentators, Michael Cole and Taz. We all know that they're the SmackDown's greatest duo ever. Honestly, I agree. Doing the whole thing during this whole match. I mean, 3-man warring won, which is obvious. They defeated Billy and Chuck. This was their first match up. And yeah. So they had to do stuff with LH. I'm not going to say what it is, okay? However, there's this mysterious person who ended up being Rikishi, and I swear to God, he looks like Medea with that look. And then Rikishi gives Eric Bischoff his ass. That was like right after, the semi-main spot, but still. And yeah. Regardless of that, still, I give it a 6.5 out of 10 also. And yeah. And then next up is for the World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H defeats Rob Van Dam to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Quick question here. Why is Triple H Raw's World Champion fourth to last on this pay-per-view? And the next match is the Women's Championship match, which Shouldn't that be reversed? Shouldn't, Triple H and Robin be third to last? Again, like I said before, Triple H was handed the World Heavyweight Championship because he was supposed to be Brock's opponent, even though it was not, for this pay-per-view at least, but it was not really official, and they wouldn't have a one-on-one match until 10 years later at SummerSlam in 2012. Still, though, this match was alright, but we obviously know Ric Flair is going to screw over Rob Van Dam in this match. I mean, referee Earl Hebner gets bumped, and then Triple H grabs the sledgehammer. Ric Flair gets into the ring with the sledgehammer, and we all know this whole spot in this. Someone's going to hit the heel. Psych hits the babyface instead. That's what happened. Flair hits Rob with the sledgehammer. Triple H hits Van Dam with the pedigree, and this led to the whole thing with Evolution. The beginning of it, at least. Now, a lot of people are going to say, RVD should have won the World Heavyweight Championship here. Like I said a few weeks last month with my Fully Loaded 2000 review, where I said Benoit should have won the title against The Rock. But again, One Night Stand 2-6 would never happen if RVD won the World Heavyweight Championship here at Unforgiven. Just like Benoit didn't win the title from The Rock, the WrestleMania 20 moment would never happen. Although WWE doesn't want us to remember that, but still. Still, it was an alright match. A 6 out of 10. I don't think Triple H and RVD have the best chemistry in the world. I'm being honest with you. And yeah. So, and then what happened with Triple H's next World Title program? Kane. The whole unifying the world and intercontinental titles, which doesn't make no fucking sense, because how can you unify a world champion with a mid-card championship? If you know all about that, watch my No Mercy 02 review, what I did with my brother, by the way. Still don't make no fucking sense then. And of course, the fucking K-Fix shit, which I don't want to talk about, because that was fucking a dumpster fire, which, rest in peace to that series. On my main channel, at least. Anyways, next up is for the Women's Championship. Trish Stratus defeats Molly Holly to win the Women's Championship. This was... They had to follow the World Title match, and it was a little better than the World Heavyweight Title match, but still, I give it a 6 out of 10 also, and that's all I have to say, really. It was what it was, really. Then we get the best match on Unforgiven. Chris Benoit defeats Kurt Angle. I mean, two technical wrestlers going at it. They have amazing chemistry together. Although I think the Royal Rumble 2003 match is their best match. But I can't say this is a fantastic match, though. And it's kind of funny because a month later, No Mercy, they become the first 30 Tag Team Championships. Because Paul Heyman booked this. That's why. Still, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I wish this match would have been longer, though. I mean, 13 minutes is good, but I wish this would have been a little longer. But, regardless, that didn't happen. Then the main event for the WWE Championship. Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker went to a double disqualification in the end. Because of that, Brock Lesnar retains the WWE Championship. This led to their Hell in a Cell match at No Mercy, which you obviously know about that. Um, this match, again, just like Triple H and RVD, it was slightly better than that match. However, Matt Hardy got involved for some reason. Then not the sickest chair shot ever, because I still think the JBL A Guerrero Judgment 4-1 is the sickest chair shot blade job ever, because of we don't know about that. But I just grabbed the chair, whacked Brock Lesnar in the head with that. I was like, ugh. Like, chair shots in the head are really cringe-worthy to watch. Because, you know, it will go bad. Because, like I said before, with A Guerrero, with that blade job 2 years later at Judgment Day. Ironically enough, in the same venue. But the match ended a double disqualification, and the fans were pissed about that. But again, this led to the Hell in a Cell match, which was better than this. I give it a 7 out of 10. And I'm generous with that because it was a good match. Until the fucking ending. And yeah, Unforgiven 2002 ends with Undertaker throwing Brock into the sign. Really? You hit the fucker with a nasty ass chair shot, and then at the end you just throw him towards the set? I don't fucking get that, really. And also the video package, Brock tell Undertaker's ex-wife, Sarah, now is, said that life's a bitch, and Undertaker says payback's a bitch. Don't want to talk about that whole thing, but still. Unforgiven 10 too, like I said. A good show. And that's all I have to say, really. It was, a good pay-per-view, like I said. What else for me to say? A 6.5 out of 10 I'll give it. I mean, not a terrible match on here, but some matches could have been better. Like, Triple H, Rob Van Dam, and Jericho, Ric Flair could have been better also, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. Next week, the No Mercy I chose is 2005. This will be A Guerrero's final pay-per-view ever. I chose this because, like I said, this is A Guerrero's final pay-per-view ever. And the other ones, they'll be the month of October, by the way. It'll be that one. I have Bound for Glory 2005 from TNA I'm going to do. And 3 Halloween Havocs, 1989, 95, and 2000. Yeah. SmackDown WWE tomorrow, Saturday. I'll get the Jesse Ventura movie done with, so there's that. Sunday, probably a late breaking news with Patrick. So yeah. Like this video, comment below, subscribe to this, share my notification bell, as well as my main channel also, so you will see those videos. And there's that there. Bye. Tuesday I'll probably do another countdown list also. So there's that. And then we're done. Bye-bye.